So a while back, a guy reached out to me. I can't even remember exactly how it was. It may have been in a YouTube comment or something. Somehow got a hold of me and was telling me that he had started a pan company. And, that was kind of interesting. He's like, hey, can I send you my pans to try? So, I took a look at what he was doing and it looked quite interesting, making his own pan. He's having it made in China. It's a Chinese made pan, but he's come up with the design. He's doing all the work to make this happen. And he's made one pan that is nitrided and one that's just regular carbon steel. And I was like, yeah, that's interesting. I wanted to try a pan that was exactly the same as the other, like one nitrided and one not, that were the exact same type of pan. So he sent them to me. I've already done that video here on the channel. The pans work great, good pan. But I was really interested in what this guy had done to get to this point. He was just a regular guy, just living in Sydney, Australia, and he's come up with this idea of not just an idea, but he's come up with this concept and made it a design, got a hold of manufacturers, made this pan, and now he's receiving his first batch to ship to people that he's already made pre-sales. So he's done a lot here to make this happen for himself. And what does that take? I think a lot of us that love this space of cookware and cooking I think, hey, maybe I could do this better. This guy thought that and has actually done this. So this is my conversation with Mao from Yahgan Pans, and I hope you enjoy. Any comments, any questions you got, please throw them below, and I hope you enjoy this.
Tell me, there's a process of having an idea on your kitchen counter to getting a piece of cookware finished, in a box ready to be sold to the market. And in that process, like, tell me, like, what did it take for you to be like, right, okay, like, I understand you kind of pushed and shoved and just tried to figure things out, but like, if somebody came to you, Mao, and said, hey, I want to start a cookware company like you did, what would you say to do? Like, what would be that structure that you'd say, okay, to get to the point where you've got 1,000 units ready to sell and you're at a starting point here, what would that story be?
Yeah, okay. Look, yeah, it's been a discovery process because you really clarify your next step once you complete one, right? It's like, and the path it starts opening up. So it's not that you see a complete list of tick the boxes. And actually, I think that would be distracting because once you do this step, you realize that you have many options and you need to make another decision. Okay. Now, the amount of support tools that we have available today is just unreal, right? Like if you think, always reflect this with my wife, like my parents' generation, you wanted to make a pan, okay? You need a factory, right?
Yep.
You need like a bloody factory, like $1 million machinery and stuff like I seriously think like who were the entrepreneur of the past? Like those people were just superheroes, like how they did it. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Today, in front of you, you have the computer that, it's a massive tool for you to filter your ideas, especially now with ChatGPT, and it's gonna give you a you know, quick bath of information that can inform your decisions, right? So I would say first, first is a step. Start with the beginning, right? And without expectations. This is a matter of is iteration. It's an iterative process, right? It's iterations. So step one, okay, I'll try step one until I'm happy. Like if you want to design, it could be whatever, a pan or anything really. You need to start with a concept in mind.
So you're saying, so step one is to kind of come up with your basic concept.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
think that what are you trying to achieve?
Yeah. And what would
Um,
so you've got your concept, you're like, I want to make a pan that looks like this, and here's my branding, that sort of thing. So what's step two?
you need to you need to test it, like to make sure that you have something, and that's a bit of a challenge because without resources, your testing capabilities are limited, right? Our family, friends, and it's not that you can do focus groups and like and research R&D and laboratories, yeah, right? So it takes a little bit of common sense, gut feeling, asking the right questions. And again, it's like I've read all these books about entrepreneurship. So I had, and from being an engineer, I have a lot of frameworks in my mind without knowing, right? But one principle that is very important is that fail fast and fail cheap, right? So don't go with a massive investment if you are not sure that what you have is the right product, right? So is the first step is you have the design, you are more or less happy. It doesn't need to be 100%. But then you need to have a minimum viable product, that is called, right? So that's the physical product that you need to try to make it as cheap as possible. And today there are many possibilities. And then start with that one. Like the 3D product will tell you, okay, I need to fix this, I don't like that, whatever, and then you do it again until you have
So
that product.
come up with a concept, the design, and then do some 3D printing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
And then
need to bring it to life as cheap as possible.
Yeah. And
First.
3D printing, making some 3D printed pans is fairly inexpensive.
Well, it's more expensive than what I thought, but
Okay.
because probably printing a pan, yeah, it's a little bit more complicated. But from memory, it was, well, here, well, everything's so expensive here. It was like, like $200 or something Australia.
Right.
That,
Okay, to print one pan.
yeah, one.
Yeah. And
And
did you buy your own 3D printer or did you have it done?
no, my yeah, that's the thing. Like always efficient, always lean, always outsourced, right?
Yeah.
So the designer Luke that I was working with, he had one, right? And he would charge me for materials, but
Okay.
it takes a lot of the thingy to make these guys, so
Yeah.
it was expensive. Anyway, it's a lot cheaper, right? So anyway,
Yeah.
I could
How much
afford.
would it cost you to make a design of a pan?
Well, again, I don't know, we go to the actual costings, but well, within within the $10,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lower than that, I would say. But yet again, when you at some stages you need to go to a market, like when you need to actually design the product of professionally. And
Yeah.
going to the market now from a procurement perspective, you have multiple options. You have the super duper, like designing a super duper pan with a design company actually have their quotes. It was $20,000 or more. Like the sky is the limit. You can spend whatever you want. And big
Yeah.
companies spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to design a pan. But you can also find someone really good who is a freelancer, who's starting, and who has a lot to win if you win,
Yeah.
Okay? So that's really important. So when you have like a win-win relationship, that works great.
Yeah.
That you get a good team. Because if my pan does well, like this guy is now, getting, the pan's photos in his website and all of that, it's becoming a reality, right? So that's what I went for, right? So, and I was very clear. I said, Mike, like, this is me, and this is pretty much my savings money. I don't have budget, so tell me what we're talking about because I may not be able to do it. And you may find that you can get things done for a lot less. Like that's value for money. That's what's called.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
a
So
lot of
you've got your prototype and you're liking it. Everything's looking good. And now you're looking for someone to make the pan.
yeah,
Next stage.
yes. So once you and it starts getting a little bit more scary when you go up, right? Because now you locked in the design, right?
Yeah.
I cannot use CAD. So if I want to change whatever, I need to, call my designer, and then it's money and it's more complicated, right? So you need to say, okay, this is it. And then next step is finding a manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary. And because every time the stakes are higher, right? And the consequences are, more important. So I was very skeptical, and I don't know why, you always feel that you're gonna get scammed, right? Like that was like that's. I mean, every time I had a conference with, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get scammed this time. Like, so you try to slowly apply filters to really get through, and ideally discover someone that is honest and is gonna serve you well, right? It's gonna
Yeah.
do a good job, right?
Yeah.
That's the
And we're
challenge.
talking
Is
about this is your manufacturer. You're hoping not to
yeah,
get scammed by your manufacturer. Because are
yeah.
you sending them a bunch of money before they make the pans, before they send you a sample?
Look, mate. Again, from my work, I always negotiate stuff. Like I negotiate everything.
Right.
So being upfront, say, okay, this is what I try to do. I don't have a lot of money, but potentially this may end up in a good business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do this? Yes. Okay. Can you show me? First step for me was I wanted a manufacturer that were already making great cookware. Okay, there's not many that do cast iron, carbon steel. You know, like not the commodity ones. Not the ones that are stamped like proper ones, right? So after a lot of research, I shortlisted a number of suppliers that I knew their business is to make cookware for big companies. So they are wholesalers, manufacturers that sell to big companies, and they sell them in Australia, Europe, the States, right? So they don't do the branding and the selling. You do that. So it's like outsourcing, manufacturing outsourcing,
Yeah,
really.
I get
Okay.
it.
Really big, really big companies I ended up finding. I'm really impressed, mate, to be honest. But let's get there slowly. So once you I haven't spent $1 yet, right? So then you will have to spend money in getting samples because they don't do anything for free, for sure. But once you have a few that you think, okay, these guys I know because of my research, I see them, the brands they do, they have an operating facility and everything. I'm happy to pay for them to send me a sample. So I started getting samples from them.
Yeah. And how much were you
Okay.
paying for these samples?
The most when I live in the end of the world, but for me the most expensive thing was the shipping, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah, $150 or for shipping, but the
Okay.
pan was very
And
cheap.
they'd send you one
Sometimes
pan in per
yeah,
shipment
yeah,
or a
yeah.
couple of different variations.
It depends. Yeah, I in some occasions I would have two variations, and yeah, when I was checking the night treating, finishing, the night treating
Yeah.
process,
Yeah.
I had a couple of variations there. I wanted to test those before. Yeah, so I would get one, depending, one, two. Look, I got it into one very quickly. Okay, like you will find that everything drops, and my expectations was that everything was going to drop, and I would have to do something else or go in person. But thankfully, I think I've been very, very lucky that I found the right company there. And so once I was happy with the quality of the products they were selling me, and also doing an independent a reference check, right? So I asked for actual contact details of their clients. I had discussions with other clients. Then your level of paranoid, decreases. You say, okay, maybe this can work. Let's take it one step further. And that's when you say, all right, let's do the molds, right? So
Right.
big discussion. That was a lot of money.
So this is the next stage. So you go from the
Next stage,
prototypes into doing the molds,
yes.
right? And that's
Yeah,
that's
well,
production.
exactly. Before that, you need to send your design. You need to send everything.
Yeah.
And then again, like, this country is famous for copying stuff, right? So
Right.
you say, oh, we're gonna get copied, and then what do you want? You wanna give it a go, or you wanna stay at home and do nothing, right? And I did all the IP protection and say, okay, that's good enough. We'll go for it. And I signed contract, non-disclosure agreement, and all that stuff. And off we went.
Okay, so you're about to make the molds. You've got the contract signed, the NDA, everything, that sort of thing. And are you spending more money at this stage? Where are you at?
Okay, so before you sign the contract, you need to negotiate terms. Okay, and I was sort of conservative. I said, I'm happy to go ahead with the molds. Okay, but I'm gonna pay you a fraction of the molds now upfront. That fraction is to be negotiated. Okay, and then I will pay you the full amount once I get those pans in my home. Okay, those first prototypes. All right. Fair enough.
The first prototype from the new molds is what you're saying. So not
Exactly.
So there were the prototypes before, and now this is the samples from the molds.
100%. So
Okay,
so far, all prototypes have been plastic, right? So you don't really know how your pan is going to look like in real life. That's the challenge. You need to make it reality.
Okay.
And to make it reality, you need a mold. And that's another total chapter, because making a pan with a mold is a lot more expensive than most companies do spinning. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's the cheapest way you can do a pan. But you know who has a patent around spinning a one piece of steel pan, right? So starting with a flat surface with the handle as one piece, you cannot spin those because there is a patent around that.
And is that Solid Kinetics or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, I got the name wrong. Sorry. What's it?
Solid Techniques.
Solid Techniques. That's right. Yeah, that's the Australian pan company.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
got it.
All my design, everything I've done is been always looking to that, right? Just to make sure, I steer very clear everything related to that. Darto is stamped, but my handle is a pain. Like I need like 10 molds to get my pan done. So again, this is not designed for profit. It's designed for and I'm fine with that. I don't look at, I'm rational. Your numbers need to stack up, but it's up to you if you want to make profit a priority or something important, but it's not top in the list. Okay. And that's me. Anyway, so challenge, I need to get this pan done in real life in metal. We need the molds. You guys say you can do it. Okay, I'll give you this percentage upfront, committed. That's it. You close your eyes. That's it. It's the only way to do it, right? And then I received the first prototype. Yeah, and that was it. And I got it.
So that was delivered, and you got that. And then, so what, that cost you a bunch of money at that point in time? Or was that a bunch of money, or was that a small amount of money?
Well, it's a lot of money, mate. It is. But again, my pan is very expensive to make. All right. So say in Australia, it would have been $200,000. Okay. I didn't have that money. All right. Yeah. So it was less than half of that. Okay. Yeah. It's still a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. Yeah. Look, I blew all my redundancy payment pretty much,
Yeah.
Right. So, but I don't know, Mike, like I had that feeling, I said, look, yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but I had a clarity that it has to be done.
I got it. I can hear what you're saying there. I know that feeling.
Yet, at the end of the day, I think we are writing a book. Our life is a book, right? And I always think of my grandkids, right? I don't know why, but these guys are probably going to be born in Australia. And they will say, this guy, Papa Mao, was born in bloody Argentina. He moved twice, came to Australia, and that's why we are here. Like, I'm feeling that I'm part of, a bigger story.
Sure.
And I had a chance to say, look, I can save this money in the bank account. Nobody will really remember about this, or I can give it a go. And that goes into my book, right? In the chapter, this guy gave it a go, and look, Yeah, worst case scenario is going to be a pan hung in the wall, right? Like that's granddad's pan.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a lot cooler than having that money spent in a car or whatever,
Sure.
you know?
Sure.
So look, always super important. It's a family decision at the end of the day, you know. It's just a normal person. So I said to my wife,
Yeah.
and she's always been supportive. She's engineer as well, so it's very rational. And it's the first time we agree that we think that there is something in this product. I think people will really like this product. So we said, yeah, let's give it a go, and we went for it. Now, committed. I received the prototypes, and then the next step was really committing a lot more money into production. And again, just starts raising the stakes. These companies, they cannot do less than 1,000 pounds, right? So it's not economical, right? And again, this is an expensive pan to make, even for Asian standards. Like it takes a lot of manual work. You need to, polish what's the sides of the pan, are all hand finished, and all these molds and a lot of stuff. The
Yeah.
handle is a
They're
pain. Anyway,
definitely nicely finished. They're nicely finished pan. Definitely.
and they're done by hand.
Yeah.
Like all pans today, most, Darto is not like that, but most are just robots, mate. Like it's no one touched them,
Yeah.
right? It's very little labor involved. This is different. So, and then the challenge is that your pricing is pretty much limited because you can't charge more than pans that do the same job and are sort of similar quality, right? And you're very small, so your margins you're very thin. So again, you wouldn't do this for money,
Mm-hmm.
100%. Anyway,
Okay. So we're at this stage now, and now you've got to jump up to 1,000 pans to make 1,000 pans, right? For your delivery of stock.
correct,
Right.
correct.
And so what happens at that stage? Where are you at?
Well, at that stage, you have to have already designed. So it's another lot of different things that you need to also design, right? So the box, how you want it. I included it like a really nice cotton bag. Let me see if I can show it to us. That's fine.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. So these guys have their own design and development facilities, so they can support you in doing your own boxes and stuff, which
Yep.
was amazing. I'm really impressed. Like the level of support that you have with these companies is next level, and it totally changed my preconception about manufacturing in China. I'm
Yep.
now convinced that China can give you whatever you want. You want the cheapest, crappiest pan in the world for 50 cents? There you have it. But if you want something really nice done, they will do it for you, like for a price.
Yep.
That price is gonna be a lot cheaper than in other places, which make these sort of projects feasible economically. Like my project is totally dead if I wanted to do it in Australia. It just didn't make sense at all commercially, right?
Yeah. I got it.
But these guys can make these things a reality, and which is amazing.
Yep.
So yeah, I committed to 1,000 pans, and they are now sailing from China to Australia. They are arriving. We have scheduled for the 17th of September, and then that's it. Then okay, they're coming. Also negotiated. This is key. Like you need to negotiate everything with everyone and be smart. Okay, but be reasonable. At the end of the day, it's a partnership. Okay, you want them to do well, so you can do well as well. This is a must. This is a key principle in procurement. It's a win-win. If you don't have a win-win, that relationship just doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah.
So you need, and it's been very collaborative relationship. They've been great. They've been really, really good. Anyway, okay, now I have 1,000 pans. What do I do with them? Like,
Yep.
actually, there's like 2.5 tons of pans, and I live in a normal house.
Yeah, where you got to put them somewhere.
Exactly.
Right.
So So I said, okay,
So you need a
let's,
sales platform. You need somewhere to store them. You need a sales platform and somehow to
well,
market them.
100%, exactly, right? So I committed to this production a few months ago, just before going to my trip to the Simpson Desert, and I didn't have a website. I didn't look. This is me, mate. I'm not a photographer. I'm not a web designer. I'm not a marketing expert. I'm nothing of all of that.
Yeah.
And suddenly I had to do all this stuff to make it work,
Yeah.
right? All I want to do,
This is another investment in cash here, right?
it's look, it's not about the cash yet.
Yeah,
It's
but no, I'm just
about,
trying to balance like the reality of the steps to get ahead. And I get
oh
what you're
yeah,
saying.
well, yeah, but it's this other area is not as cash intensive, okay? But it's critical and it takes time. Like
Mhm.
if I have to say something about all this project, is that you need to do something that you love because you're going to be talking pans and thinking pans 24/7. Okay. So I wake up at 2 in the morning because I have an idea of a video or something with my pan, and it's been like that for a year.
Yeah.
Now, it's crazy because you do this 24/7, but at the same time, I've never been happier in my life.
Good.
Like,
It's fun.
I find that finally I feel that I've found my purpose, like through my little videos that I do for YouTube, getting these messages of people saying, "Hey, I tried, my egg, it's working great." It's been amazing. Like you feel
Yeah.
that you are really actually contributing to, helping people in their journey
Yep.
to stop using. That's been amazing. So this is it comes side by side because if I want to help people transition to proper cookware. I said, okay, it makes sense that I actually give them the right tools as well,
Mhm.
or at one option at least. Anyway, so in order to make all this work, you are committed. You have 1,000 pans coming. That's a lot of money on top. You need to sell them. All right. So that's one is the design, manufacturing. You need to get them on the streets.
Yep.
And that was very daunting because I had no idea. I like literally Google what do I do and stuff, and it's been amazing the support you have.
Yep.
So I came from the desert. I took a few photos. You will see my website all the cooking in the fire and everything. Everything was actually real. That's what it's the pan life for the 3 weeks over there. And started making the website. I said, okay, I need to hopefully start pre-selling my pans because I don't want to have like all this inventory here. And for pre-sale, I need to make a website. Okay, how do I make a website? And literally spend 10 days trying to do something that it didn't work because I felt that I need to starting from scratch. I need to tell a story about my pan.
Yep.
The pan has whole story on the side, right? So I did I thought that like a Kickstarter type of
Mhm.
layout would work, like very long, okay? And it was a pain. It was a pain. It was like disaster. I had to take the photos of the products here at home. Photos were crap because the light was wrong, like it was very painful 10 days, but I learned a lot.
Good.
I learned a lot. So at the end of those stressful nightmare days,
Yeah.
I knew what I didn't know, and I sort of had an idea how to fix them. So I started fixing little things, got the photos right, learned to edit those photos in Canva, like uh, then found that a better template for like a pre-done template in Shopify for my
Yeah.
website
You're
was the
using
way to
Shopify
go.
as your website, yeah?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I had to pay for a template. So I mean, and again, it's another $500, another like, oh my God, but then that's it. I mean, you're
Yeah.
done. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's point of no return, right? Well, and ended up putting the website up.
Yeah, the website looks great now. It looks
And
really great. You've done a great job.
thanks. I'm
Yeah.
impressed. What can I say?
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
me. It's
No,
like,
good on you. It definitely looks like you spent a lot of time on it.
thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also if I can do it, anyone can do it, mate. Like all
Yep.
you need is the focus and the drive and the time.
Yep. I hear you there.
Um, so all right, I have a website.
Yep.
Nobody's gonna find it. Like you actually back in this is really 4 weeks ago or whatever. Like you would go in on Google, you wouldn't find it, right?
Yep.
Like say, all right, what do we do now? Like, okay, let's make it's time for me to talk about my pan in my channel. You know, my channel is very little, but it's okay, I'm gonna and I that's the other thing that's been tricky. I don't want to use my channel to push sales or to do I respect that I want my channel. I'm gonna keep talking great things about many cookware brands that I love, and I want to offer just an option, right? Like
Mhm.
they're great pans, like Darto are amazing. Like if you find that that's your pan, go for it, right? I just have a different one. It's just probably not better, it's just different. It will be better for some people, for some other people may not. So it's about education, right? So okay, so I was a little bit uncomfortable of talking about my product in the channel, but I said, okay, I'm gonna do like a introduction of what I'm doing. It's a chance for me to talk about the bigger picture of my concept and all of that. And I did that, and I started getting a lot of orders, which was extraordinary. So yeah, I'm very happy, and I'm I have it's pretty much half of the stock is gone already,
That's
and
fantastic.
I haven't started.
Yep.
Now next step for me is doing social media.
Yep.
Another daunting, massive universe in front of me that I'm so scared to tap into because I never sold anything really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I mean, it feels very. I'm now in peace with the long term form.
Hmm.
YouTube, I love it because it's content that stays there for
Yeah. Yeah.
people to search. That's great.
Yeah,
But
I hear you.
now,
I spend very little time on social media, and I put all my time into YouTube because it adds more
exactly,
value. I just
100%. These
yeah.
reels things they
Yeah.
last 2 days and then go to the
Yeah.
a black hole.
But
You
that
know,
said, if I was building a brand like you, I would be looking at social media pretty intensively. So
you need to
yes,
do it.
you do
You
need
need
to do
to
it.
do
Yeah.
it. So that's next step for me. I think I will be able to use a lot of content that I already have shot with my other videos to get
Yep.
started, and it's gonna be another learning journey,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But again, look, step by step, and if I had to say, look, anyone can do it. Like, just be conservative with the risk you take. Don't risk more than what you can afford to lose.
Like
That's
gambling.
like that's a cliche thing, but it's actually real life, mate.
Sure.
Like
I get it.
I
I
s-
get it
I
clearly.
still have another job. So at the
Yep.
moment I really have two jobs because I
Yep.
probably this thing's taking actually more time.
Yep.
But but I know that I don't rely on selling pants and makes me a better person. I don't need
Yep.
to start pushing pants to anyone, like I
Good on
just
you.
can be afford to be 100% honest. This is me, this is what I have to offer, and we'll
Yep.
see. If people really love it, amazing. I'm going happy to jump 100% into that, and I already have designs for other sizes. The leads are coming, and yeah, I feel a lot more confident now. That I have been able to share this pen with a wider audience, so I know that we have something that is very likely that people will really like, right? So it's again step by step, step by step, and I'm in that stage where I see what's coming. The social media, start doing marketing and everything. I want these pants to arrive. I feel, I really want them to be. I want to be able to deliver before I start going hard on sales,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I get
And
it.
so
I get it.
I'm happy to keep it like this for now until I get the pants. Pants, they're selling. I'm now considering doing another batch for 1,000 night treating pants because
Yeah.
it seems that everyone what's the night treating one is
Yep.
selling like 20 to 1 pretty
Right.
much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That makes sense.
so yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks so much for all of your time. The story and the journey has been interesting to hear about, and especially like the development of your business. And how about we check in like a year from now and see where you're at? That'd be a fun kind of a a recap in a year and see how your sales have worked out and what you've learned. All
Huh?
right. Okay. Well, thanks so much for this, and good luck into the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so
All right.
much, Mario. Have a great day.
All
See you
right.
next
Ciao.
time. Cheers. Bye bye.